Welcome back to the work week, everybody. If I am sitting here in my office and Landon is sitting in his office over there in Tien at the NWS, that means we are getting you ready for the week. So, Landon, always good to see you. And something occurred to me over the weekend because I remember in the days speaking to you after Typhoon Mawar 5 months prior, you said something to me that was really interesting. Is you said you told your team who were highly skilled and highly trained, um, but rookies on Guam, admittedly, right? You told them after Mawar, you said, okay, all the storms we experience aren't necessarily this bad, but at the same time, they're not all necessarily this easy. And so now, given that we've been through as a community and, as a big family, we've been through one really bad one and one, that was manageable and not so bad. How do you assess like how your team is now performing now that they've got that evidence and that experience?
Yeah, there's several ways we do that. And of course, Mawar, yeah, not every storm is going to be as hard as that one, but not every storm is going to be as easy. And we've dodged two major bullets. One was Mawar, that really developed into a monster after it passed, but also this last one, Typhoon Balavan, that really blew up into this monstrous super typhoon right after it passes, literally 18 hours after it passed through the Sinai. And so we've been very fortunate. But as far as assessing our team, yeah, we have a lot of new people. The average age of our staff, our forecasting staff, dropped significantly with the number of retirements over the last several years.
Which is
So we
basically
have a
Chip.
lot of Chip Guard, a number of our senior forecasters over the last couple of years, and so we have a lot of new people really since the COVID era, and so they're trying to get spun up. We had 3 quiet years of tropical weather across the region, and things are starting to wake up again now with 2 direct hits to the region. And so we assess things technologically, how they maneuver the software, but also how they communicate and put the forecast together, how they decipher what we're seeing on the forecast models on the computers behind the camera, but how they communicate that, piece together a realistic forecast that people can use and take something from it.
Mhm.
Because we all have those phone apps and they all show us something spinning up somewhere sometime. But how do you decipher that? What's realistic? What's gibberish? And so we have to make sure all of our forecasters can communicate that.
And that's what you guys do, and you do better than anybody that I've ever worked with. Is you guys actually give context to what Mother Nature may have in store for us, and also make it like relative to say like, okay, we know Mawar was really bad, and again, that brings me back to the point, and this other storm won't be as bad. And I've been sharing, like on our live streams, I was like, for young people that have never been through a storm, this is really good experience for them too, because now they've been through, like both sides, and now they're so much more educated on how to get ready.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And back in the old days, it was a text bulletin every 3 to 6 hours, and that was your
I
typhoon
slept next to the
information.
fax machine.
We can do so much better now. That's exactly what we're doing with social media or broadcasting. And we're making waves not just locally in the community, but also across the region, across Micronesia. People are watching us in the compact states, but also in the United States and across the globe. We have a global audience when we do some of these significant weather broadcasts. People are watching, they're tuning in, and we have a huge audience out there watching these information deliveries.
Mhm. And it's not like people just jumping on and it's not like people are trolling you or anything like that. You are getting like eye-popping numbers. Been, to your point, it's because people are generally interested and they just want to know, like, when is it coming? How strong is it going to be? And are we going to be okay?
Yeah, that's the $1 million question. What is it? How bad is it? When is it? And what does it mean to me? What
Yeah.
do I need to do? And so, if we can speak to that, if we can convey something that's so highly uncertain, but with a degree of certainty that people can take something home with them, that's a mission accomplished for us.
There you go. Okay, so looking at the weather for this week and possibly even a little bit more, because I know I actually saw your twin brother. He was at the Zombie Run, which was amazing fun. And I'm seeing a whole bunch of people go like all out with their Halloween costumes. So, what are you thinking maybe heading into about 2 weeks from now?
Yeah, it might get a little bit scarier in about 2 weeks, but for the
Oh gosh.
first week, not so bad. We're looking at the Doppler weather radar right now. Just some spotty showers to our east. This is a little mid-level circulation, nothing to be concerned of, as this convective burst of showers and thunderstorms is fading out. But otherwise, we have fair weather in place for much of the week. We could see some island effect convection. That would be due to the light winds, the daytime heating of the land. So when the winds drop down to light and variable or near calm, we can get the daytime heating of the land causing the showers and thunderstorms. So really, it's where those showers develop. Not everybody will feel it, but some locations could see some locally heavy rainfall, maybe even a thunderstorm or two today. So watch out for that midday into the afternoon hours. Elsewhere across the week, not so bad. We have a pretty dry forecast. There's only 20% showers for the week ahead. I'm going to open up to the satellite. This is the picture, very quiet across the Mariana Islands. Kind of a light trade wind flow that we're going to see develop over the next 24 to 48 hours. That's going to persist through the week, but a lot of action across Micronesia to our south. We are watching the circulation here near Weno Chuk. This is probably going to be an invest area from the Torrent Typhoon Warning Center, but nothing expected to come of it, at least in the forecast models. But we are watching this system over here. This is the Marshall Islands, Madre over here. This is the dateline. We're watching the system over here near the dateline. And so we're getting a lot of messages from people looking at a variety of weather apps on the phone that show something spinning up into our area come next week. We are watching this closely. So, the key is not to get panicked because some of these weather apps, they show a tropical cyclone of some degree, whether it's a tropical storm or a typhoon coming at the Mariana Islands mid to late next week. A lot of time is on our side. There's a lot of time for any kind of a forecast in the short term and the long range to shift, change, or modify. Don't panic now.
May I ask, why is it that it seems like not only, windy.com or, the tools that you provide and everything that you guys put out there on the web or on, mobile products, why does it seem like everybody seems to say like, we can see about a week and a half out or 10 days out? Is anything beyond that scope, kind of like it starts to get really inaccurate?
Yeah, it gets very inaccurate. And realistically, it gets very inaccurate beyond day 3 and 4 in the tropics because the models, there's so much variability. The forecast models really have a hard time resolving reality, especially beyond day 3 and 4. So anything outside of 4 or 5 days into the future, take it with a grain of salt because in 6 hours, that next forecast model run comes through and things will shift. Sometimes a little bit, sometimes they shift a lot. And so keep that in mind. That's why the forecasters are here putting out the best available forecast based on our knowledge and experience. But
you really drove
that is a disturbance.
You really drove that point home. Yeah, when I was covering during the heavy weather briefings, as you said, here we are 4 days out. You said we'll have a better idea 3 days out. We'll know really, really well by day 3, and by 1 day out and everything like that, we'll have a fairly good idea because you said at that point it's no longer a probability, it's a certainty and an expectation. So.
Yeah, and that's exactly where we are. There's such a large area of uncertainty right now this far out. We're looking at 8 to 10 days into the future at this point. So there's a lot of time for things to evolve, a lot of time for things to take shape and to modify. So don't panic when you see these images being shared on social media. That's just a forecast and things will change, things will shift. It could change for the better or it could change for the worse, but don't panic, be prepared.
So maybe this is the pro tip. So rather than sharing it with your entire social graph and telling everybody that you went to school with, or, trying to tell Selena Gomez like she's going to listen to you anyway about what might be happening, if you're not the expert, message our friends at the NWS because they will respond to you and they'll get back to you and just say, okay, look, these are the facts. This is what's going on right now. And they'll basically tell you, we'll be okay. Or, you might want to, go out and get batteries again. So best thing you can do before you blast it out is talk to you guys.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And again, I've told people before, we're not going to be the first to say something's going to happen. You may see that on social media and people trying to go viral and get a lot of attention, but we're not going to be first to say something's going to happen, but we will be the most accurate with hope.
I'd rather be right than fast.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And so we want to be accurate and trustworthy as far as our information.
All right, final question. Leading into Halloween, I am really, really psyched for Halloween. Something else I was thinking of this past weekend, Landon. What is the favorite candy of weather forecasters? Because, you told me once you guys are really, really into coffee. You guys are highly caffeinated. But when it comes to getting your sugar rush and Halloween candy, what does a proper forecaster go for?
Yeah, these are my two. These are my go-to staples. This is,
Snickers
I call it lunch.
Okay, first of all, the fun size is a contradiction in terms. So whoever came up with that, deserves to go face the wall for like the next 3 days. But,
I agree. Okay. It should be like much larger.
For me personally, I've always been a candy corn guy. I mean, I know candy corn gets like a bad rap and everything like that. Keep talking about that, everybody. More for me.
I like it. Yes, I like candy corn.
There you go. Two of us like candy corn. And I found my long lost twin. Well, fortunately, you already have a twin brother, and you guys and your team do an absolutely amazing job and everything. And we are always in your debt for the information and the wisdom that you provide. So thank you, Landon.
Well, we are always here, no matter how scary it gets.
There you go. So you message them about the weather, message them about candy. You know, they'll probably respond. All right. Have a good day, man. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Jason.
Bye bye.